evening, Vice Chair Patterson and Commissioners. The subject residence is known as the F.A. Coleman House, and it is a Western Ranch-style house located on Monteverde Street, 2 parcels southwest of 13th. The residence is included in the Carmel Historic Resources Inventory and was originally built in 1907. In 1936, Comstock made multiple exterior alterations, which creates most of what exists today. The existing residence is 1,404 square feet in size on an 8,000 square foot lot, and the applicant is proposing to add an additional 1,009 square feet to the residence, with 316 square feet on the first floor and 693 square feet on the second floor. The proposed additions include the addition of a gable-roofed, one-story family room off the south-facing elevation, the extension of a portion of the west side elevation to enlarge the bedroom, a small extension and height increase of the existing 2-story element, the enlargement of the French doors on the rear elevation, and 6 new skylights on the north side of the residence and the kitchen. The new addition is proposed to have horizontal wood siding with detached roof lines to appear differentiated from the historic house. The applicant initially submitted a much larger second-story addition, however, the application was revised to scale down the second story. The city's historian reviewed the project plans and found that the proposed changes fall under the rehabilitation treatment to historic properties. The historian concluded that the proposed alterations are generally unaltered primary and secondary elevations and are designed so that the character-defining features of the historic building are generally not impacted. On March 21, 2016, the Historic Resources Board reviewed the proposal and issued a determination of consistency subject to 5 conditions, which have been included in your packet as recommended conditions. The proposed finished materials on the addition areas include horizontal wood siding and board and batten siding on the original. The applicant is proposing wood windows and doors in the addition areas to match the existing. Staff is recommending both conceptual and final approval of this project, subject to the recommended conditions. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. My name is MANUEL Guerrero. I'm a Colombian architect. I'm a specialist on preservation and rehabilitation of historical architecture by the University of Spain. I've been working for almost over 15 years in the field. I'm very excited about this project. It's my first project in Carmel by the Sea. I have a few projects in the area. And before, I don't want to get into too much detail about the project itself. It speaks for itself. But I would like to explain to you briefly what is the approach and what is the procedure that I use to get to this project. So, as I told you, I named this project a garden cottage, Saadati Garden Cottage, and the idea is to reinforce the original character of the house. So this type of projects, I approach this type of projects in terms of 3 different phases. It's a strategy that I use. The first one is prior to the project. The first one is the building reconnaissance. The second is establish an intervention criteria based on the Secretary of Interior's standards for treatment of historical properties. And the third is the project, which is kind of a product of all this procedure. It's pretty basic, it's simple, but it's also very complex. And so, first of all, the reconnaissance phase, I divided into different levels. The first one is what the historic review, the historic character of the house has happened. I use historians, and just to determine what is important in the house, what happens if someone related to the history of Carmel, in this case, was related to this structure. So that's one of the characters that we need to preserve. The second is to get a really good set of plans with the evolution of the property, and I have this kind of really small review of what has been happening, the evolution of the house. What the square here is the first house, was done in 1907. Was a very simple cottage, beach house, typical of the early Carmel. And then something really interesting happens between 1926 and 1936. First, there were two female contractors involved in this period of time. That speaks a lot of what is happening in this area in this time. I have to say that I'm really good fan of Julia Morgan, the architect, and it's very interesting that in 1926, two female contractors were involved in this project. And then in 1936, Hugh Comstock, which is his work is remarkable in this area. He did some alteration of the original house. And so, before I'll give you my conclusions about this first phase, I'm going to go ahead and finally we have another portion of the house, which is this one, the one that is in blue. It's not really, you don't have documentation about this portion of the house. As you were able to see at the site, it matches in terms of the facade, the material. But then when you see the structure, how it works inside, it really ruined kind of the functionality of the house. It was really pretty bad. Wasn't really a fortunate solution. So here we have I have two areas. One is what I consider original. It wasn't the first house. It was the second and the third. And I'm preserving this area as original house. And then I'm proposing the project, a part of the project in this area, and an expansion in this area. And so that's kind of the conclusion about the reconnaissance phase. Here are the alterations I'm proposing. And I'm just going to go through the presentation so you can see, what is the excuse me, just going to go here. Okay. I'm going to go pretty fast here. So you can see here the proposal and the existing in the proposal. Here is the existing. And here's the proposal. All the contemporary interventions are going to have a character of difference between the original and the old one. And the idea is that at the eye of any person it would blend, but in the eye of an expert, you can tell the difference that this is an addition, so we don't create what I call a fake historic or a false historic. So here's some images of the existing and the proposal. And the back, the existing and the proposal. And finally, I'm going to show you some interior design concept. Because as I told you over there, I don't really have that much technical arguments for the skylights, but it will reinforce the idea and the criteria of a garden cottage. One of the things that is beautiful about this project is the garden, but also that makes the interior pretty dark. So that kind of light will bring a really beautiful feeling into the house. So, and it's also in the back of the property. You cannot really see it from the outside. Here's stairway, and also this window is going to provide interior, light from the exterior to the interior, the new area. And well, that's presentation. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the applicant? The roofing material, when we're out there in the field, we recognize that the roofing material that's existing is no longer made because of a product defect issue. What would you like to have on there now?
Yeah, well, we have two options in this type of cases. First is to reuse what we have original, and then find a material with a criteria of difference that can match what's existing. And the other is just to replace with a new one, consistent with the shape, size, and color as the original one.
So you'd use something that's not composition shingle. You would use.
I would use something that is kind of similar to what we have here. I don't really know what in the market we can get. Something similar, whether it's wood or something similar of what we have right now.
As a quick aside, the Planning Commission just reviewed a bunch of alternatives to well, there's always wood shake, of course, and wood shingle, which are always wonderful. But we also reviewed some synthetic options too that are very good looking and very consistent with the character of the community. And we have those here. If you'd like to see them at a future date.
Sure.
Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.